All right, thank you so much for staying with us. Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, says that the $500 million loan facility from the World Bank will accelerate development across the country's agricultural ecosystem, in line with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda for the sector. The minister disclosed this during a courtesy visit by the World Bank delegation led by Head of Agricultural Value Chains for Growth, Hardwick Echley. He was held at the ministry's conference room in Abuja. Senator Kyari explained that the World Bank 6-year Agri-Connect initiative valued at $14 billion is designed to address long-standing gaps in smallholder farming by improving linkages across the entire agricultural value chain. He said the project will enhance connectivity between farmers, processors, markets, and financial systems, thereby strengthening value chains, expanding agro-processing capacity, and improving rural livelihoods. My guest is Mr. Bunmi Olonode. He's the Managing Director of Kensington Agro Trading Limited. He has spent the last 40 years in the diaspora as an entrepreneur, 15 years in the agricultural commodities space, both in the UK and the United States. And in 2023, he started their infrastructure to set up a commodities dealer firm and collateral management company back home in Nigeria, named Kensington Agri Trading Limited, licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission of Nigeria. The major objective is to empower farmers, ensure production of crops, and help create food security in Nigeria. Thank you so much, Mr. Olonode.
It's my pleasure.
It's really good to have you here.
Good to see you.
When I hear food security, yes. I think one day we'll get to that point where we will indeed be food secured in Nigeria. But let's first understand our landscape. That's Nigeria's agricultural landscape. Tell us what you make of what we have on ground.
The biggest challenge that we have is the fragmentation of landscapes, farmers, individual entities trying to create farming. We cannot scale because of the fragmentation. What we need to be able to do is collaborate within smallholder farmers rather than divide them, collaborate from one state to another, create a larger landscape and scale, and then we will have better food security in the nation. Right now, farmers are loving to survive on their own individually. I commend the president, what amount of work they've done. I commend the minister, the honorable minister. I commend the World Bank on the loan we've been given. But what we need to do is ensure that when this money is being dispersed, we can create a collaborative environment. The farmers, a smallholder farmer here can work with a smallholder farmer here, so we can scale in a larger platform. That way, we can have a better processing system that creates a market opportunity for people to take the produces to the market.
Do we really understand the global value of Nigeria's agricultural products and crop? I've attended some international trade fairs, that's an intra-Africa trade fair. There was one in South Africa, Algiers, and all of that. And I see that we don't really take advantage of even the AFCFTA and all of it. Yes. Do we understand the value of what we even have?
I'll give 3 examples. Last year, we had pesticide issues with our gingers in Kaduna. Until last year, I don't think everybody realizes the enormosity and the power of our produces. Nigeria is the 2nd largest ginger exporter and producer in the world after India.
Wow.
When we lost so much of this ginger due to pesticide, the prices of ginger globally shoot up by 25%. It shows that we are needed. Our produces globally, our lemon, our strawberries, our gingers are sought after. One of the biggest beverage producers in the world, they're called Fever Tree, uses Nigerian ginger to make all their gingers globally. They're one of the leading salespeople, sales beverages in the US and the UK. Last year, when we had this pesticide, profit dropped because they couldn't get enough access. But what has happened is the government now realizes how powerful we are. Our producers are farmers, which is why the World Bank is even coming in to say, okay, we'll support you. We can see what you're doing. We know that you've got the produces. How do we scale you internationally? And now we have the infrastructure, thanks to the president, thanks to the honorable minister, to now take this from the level we're at and scale it. We know it. Many people might know. Many Nigerians might know. But we that are in the commodity space, we understand the value of our produces. And all we've got to do, the onus is on us to help our farmers continue to have the same mindset and produce better produces for us. We're well-renowned, we're globally renowned, our produces are everywhere, and we're very proud of that. And as a company, we're going to do all we can to support that system.
Now, the issue of 40% perishable crops in our value chain is also one thing that we need to talk about. How do we get to eliminate this?
One of the things that we're working on, and which we've had every support, is to create in 6 geopolitical zones what we call a cold store storage all over Nigeria. 40% of these perishable items are your strawberry, your fruit and vegetables, your produces as far as apples, oranges, tomatoes. Because we don't have the infrastructure to get this thing from the farm directly to cool storage to sustain the actual produce, it becomes difficult to sustain the produce from when it leaves the farm to when it gets to the market. We have created a chain where we have the cold storage systems that each geopolitical zone will have access. By doing this, we reduce our perishable produces by, my calculation that we did with the Ministry of Agriculture was 22% by 2030. We're looking forward to it. We're hoping for better support from the government, but we are at a stage where we're very proud of what we've done. We've got the infrastructure and we can continue to push. But we can't survive and have food security if 40% of our produces does not reach the market. It's not possible. We have one of the largest association, or should I say sections of farmers in the world. Over 30 million farmers in Nigeria. The United Kingdom feeds 60 million people. They don't have more than 2 million farmers. So we have the capacity to produce, and we are producing. All we need to do is get it from the farm to the market. If we can build enough infrastructure to achieve that, we're good to go. Not only for Nigeria, the rest of Africa, and for the export market too.
Introducing AI technologies into farming and agricultural value chain is also the in thing now.
Yes.
Tell us how that is playing out.
We are partnering with a company called NVIDIA. NVIDIA are the leading AI software producers in the world. What we are doing, we're creating a space for all our smallholder farmers where we're doing irrigation. During irrigation, we have a sensor. That sensor tells 3 things: weather, pesticide, and understanding what is to happen and when the harvest will be. When we had this issue at Kaduna, if we had this system and this software in place through the irrigation system, we would know that pesticide is coming. When we have sensors dictating weather for us and saying, oh, the rainfall will be more than 2 meters, don't sow yet. Technology has taken over everything we do. It's forward thinking, helps our farmers, support the infrastructure for them. They know when to sow and when to harvest. They know what to put and what not to put. So it is crucial. It is crucial. This is the way forward. Without AI, we can't do much because we don't have the infrastructure. Everything we do with all the farmers we've got on board, manual. We can't do manual. It doesn't work. We can't scale with manual. We need the intelligence. We need the data. We need the composition to help us put all this together and say, here you go. Capacity increased by 50%. You don't have to kill yourself farming, but we can help you scale it more than what you're at the moment. So I think AI is the future. We're on our way in January to Holland, a company that is using the same system we're about to implement. And we're going to try and start our own pilot systems in February of next year. We're looking forward to it. We're very excited. And our job is to also add to the community of farmers, because farmers is no longer a fun thing in Nigeria, but it should be. You go to the United States, you go to the United Kingdom, the generation, sustainability of farmers.
That's it.
I'm telling you.
That was my next question. How capabilities, skills gap, and sustainability for farmers and the farms? Because it looks like something that farming is just for the old people.
You go to the United Kingdom, where I spent so many years, and you see a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 20-year-old taking over from their parents.
Proud farmers.
Looking forward to it. And the guy is probably driving a Mercedes-Benz because it's also very economically profitable. In Nigeria, some of our farmers are heavily laden with debt. Just because you have some, what's the word I'm looking for? Get rich quick element of scheme. People come to you, oh, we'll buy all your produce for the next 2 years. We give you ₦1 million. If the farmer loses harvest, is burdened with debt. What we are doing is we're supporting farmers with resources, financial, seeds, and otherwise. We want farming to be cool again. We want the University of Agriculture in Ogun State. We want all our graduates in agriculture to feel that farming is now cool. They don't leave farming and go and work for a bank. They don't leave farming and go and work. We need to empower and make it cool again. And that is what we're hoping to do.
Now, let's look at infrastructure for generational sustainable farming. You know, I think that's where AI also falls into.
Yes.
But, you know, eliminating waste and all of that planning. So, but let's look more into that. What more can be done to, you know, attract the young ones into the agricultural space?
Nowadays, what we call should I say millennial or Gen Z? They use AI. ChatGPT is there. Gemini AI is there. Basically, there's no question you ask, agriculture and otherwise, it's there. So they're well informed. Why aren't we using their knowledge, their expertise to take them into this environment and create a better future? I think we need to go back to universities and create an environment with NVIDIA, with other AI producers and say, agriculture, it has to start from the educational sector, where we go back to university and introduce AI in farming. In the University of Ogun State, where they've got the agricultural department, we have got to take this to the student. We can't expect them to graduate and start learning it. It has to come from when you leave secondary school and you go into uni and you want to study agriculture. AI has to be a part of the knowledge so that you understand you are empowered and you're going to make economical success with what you're trying to do. We want to do that. I'm sure the president and the government wants to do that. But we need to make sure that the universities are also ready to embrace that. So we don't wait till they graduate and start and teach them. We teach them from when they are younger. And that would be my own advice to the future of our next generation.
Now, food prices, for me, that's also something key. You know, my first discussion, we talked about the monetary policy, inflation, and all of that. And whenever inflation is out, many are interested in seeing what is food inflation looking like. And that takes us to prices. And let's look at rice, for example. In some cases, is this amount, is that amount? So what are your thoughts around this? And how can we start to see the impact of, let me say, reduced inflation on the prices of food?
You go back to the beginning where you say food security. When demand exceeds supply, you have an issue. When you have a section of the economy or a section of the community holding food, waiting for food prices to go up and then release into the market, you've got issue. When you have fragmentation, I will only produce for this sector of the economy, I will only produce for... We have no scale, industrial scale. If we can address producing more food, supplying more food, we will deal with prices. It's like your oil and gas. When the petrol is at the pump, many people don't have an issue, they pay. But when we have scarcity of petrol, price goes through the roof. And I must say this in the most humblest way ever, in the sense that we need to take the power of food back to the people. I remember when we were growing up, I'm sure you remember, Operation Feed the Nation. Everyone has a farm in the back of their garden. Anyone in Nigeria that's got a garden, sow tomato. It is not just left to the farmers. Get a little greenhouse. Sow your vegetables. You don't have to always buy from the market. If we now start looking after our family one by one, the pressure on farming will reduce, and there will be more food supply, and we will not be subject to price indexes. I remember I grew up in Northumberland part of England where we have, they call it greenery, where you've got greenhouses. People, you buy a plot of land or you lease, you plant your tomato. We can encourage that. And I am one of those people that's going to respectfully write to the Minister of Agriculture. Can we please encourage, go back to those days where we can have a little farm in the back of our house and do our tomatoes.
Yes,
and
tomatoes, pepper, and those, yeah.
We all have to take part. It's not just on the government. It's not just on the farmers. From me and you, from the next person, how can we create food security in our environment? I have a garden in my house. I've got vegetable leaves. When I need to, I pluck them. I cook. I don't always have to...
Fresh.
Exactly. So when we can all take part and not always depend on Mr. President or the Honorable Minister, and we do our part, prices will become less demand. System is not perfect, sir, for sure. Infrastructure, we don't have what we need, for sure. How can we help as citizens? How can we do better as citizens? And now, Mama, such and such, I have tomato, do you want some? Together, we will ease the pressure on the farming sector, on the infrastructure, and we will live a better life. And even our children also will see us doing that. They will carry it.
Before I let you go,
Yes,
we're getting to the season already. It's dirty December. I hope you're going to be in the country for the dirty December.
I have no choice.
But really,
I have no choice.
I want to ask you, how much do you sell a bag of rice in your organization?
First of all, let me prepare you.
Okay.
Rice is a global food golden demand, from Thailand to England to US to Nigeria. Rice is gold commodity. 1 in 3 people, I don't care, anywhere in the world, will have a bowl of rice each day.
Yes.
There is not enough rice to feed everyone globally. Now, when it comes to Christmas, they call it seasonal. We are selling currently prices of rice on our platform. We have our own website and our own platform. A 50 kg rice we're selling for 66,000.
Wow.
But by the time you get to your retail supermarket, you don't blame anyone. You can't blame anyone because you have loads of chain in between. If you go to a wholesaler, he has to put his own margin. If you go to a retailer, they have to make margin. So by the time it gets to the consumer, it's heavily laden with price. You can understand that. But what we are trying to do is take the myth away from it has to be expensive. Nigerian's paddy, we might not have enough. It's one of the best globally. We're proud to be producing.
Local rice,
We
right?
produce local rice. One of our rices, our local rice, is the best in the country. We're very proud of that. And we're selling for good prices.
That's quite healthy.
We are proud. And we know over the next few years, we don't have to compromise. One of the other issues is we've got rice coming in from every sector in the country. I don't want to mention countries, Cotonou, all these places. But please, we be careful what we eat. Make sure the rice you're eating, you've got NAFDAC on it. It is tested in the lab. You know what you're eating because you eat healthy, you eat safe. But I know also there's value. People are struggling financially. You understand that? So, but there are places you can get rice from. You don't have to pay through your nose. And they're good quality rice. And that's where we come in. And I hope we can help in a little way to feed the nation.
Yes, Managing Director, Kesintin Agro Trading Limited there, bearing his mind around our just agricultural space, what's been playing out with pricing and all of that. Interesting conversation. And we'd like to have you here again, you know, to evaluate and monitor what's playing out, your sales and all of that, because I think Nigerians should be able to take advantage of this. It's really nice talking to you.
It's good to be home.
Thanks
it's good to be home.
Thanks for coming to the studio.
Pleasure, sir.
Nice conversation, I must
say.
Well, Mr. Bunmi Olonode is Managing Director, Kesintin Agro Trading Limited, like I said earlier, operates in the agricultural value chain.